Okay, I'm live. Hello, everyone out there. It's good to see you again. It's been a long time since I've done one of these live streams, so I thought I'd do it again and have a lot to talk about. I've been away for a little over a month, mostly just working. I had a lot of work to do. But in this live stream, there are a couple things that I do want to chat with you about. Them being Chinese hospitals, going to Chinese hospitals, the differences between public hospital, private clinics, all different kinds of things. Hey, Jolly, what's up, dude? You've been gone like a month, man. Yeah, I've been following your adventure, man. It looks pretty cool out there. So, if everyone you don't know Jolly, go ahead and follow his YouTube channel. He's currently, where are you now, Jolly? Are you in Peru? I think. And when are you coming back to China? Anyways, going back though, so in this one, I'm going to tell you about my experience that I've recently had at a Chinese public hospital, as well as my experiences in Chinese hotels. They are a completely different world, Chinese hotels, than the rest of the world. So I want to dispel some rumors about Chinese hotels and also give you some tips and some insights on how, you can get the most of your money and everything out of Chinese hotels. So that being said, on an 18-hour bus back to Lima, that sounds like fun. 18 hours on a bus in South America. Well, good luck to you, Jelly. It's interesting. If you're on a bus right now, how are you able to live stream me from China? Yeah. Isn't technology great? All right, I'm just going to pull up my other program here. It's a luxury bus. Of course, nothing but first class for you, right, Jolly? All right. You'll have to, I'm curious what a luxury bus is. You'll have to show me. I don't think I've seen that on your channel yet, dude. Okay. Let's get into it. So as many of you know, and feel free, you can ask questions about this and stuff. A few months ago, I was in a really bad e-bike accident. And, I'm fine. I lived, didn't bust my head open or anything. My skin on my legs got pretty busted up, but that's all healed. I'm 100% except for my left shoulder. And I've been complaining about my left shoulder for months now. So once the college got back into session, I was able to engage my insurance. I went to the hospital. Now, I could have gone to the local hospital here right down the street, but the college wanted me to go to this other hospital, the University of Guangzhou Traditional Medicine Hospital. It's a big, giant hospital on the other side of town, and it's nice. It's really nice. Now, I had never been to a public hospital here in China. The only time I went was to do a quick physical for my my driver's license, and I was in and out in like 20 minutes for that. That was really nothing. So I went there, and I was first skeptical because it said it was Chinese traditional medicine, and I don't know anything about that stuff. I asked my Chinese friends, "Hey, is Chinese traditional medicine, does it work?" And they all kind of look at me with a smile and say, "Yes, it works." Well, so I didn't know what to expect. So I go in, I check in, and everything is hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait. My colleague from the college who was there to help with, interpretation, as well as the driver for the college, they're all there and they're running from station to station, yelling and screaming like, "Guys, it's a hospital, stop running." We go in, we check in, and get a little number. We wait to see the doctor. Now, and the waiting room, it's massive, and this is a new hospital. It's very nice. It's brand new, and it's a typical hospital type clientele that you'll see. You see children, you see adults, you see those who are really sick, you see those who are just injured, and you see their family members and their friends. And I'm waiting, and where you sit in these long rows, and then straight ahead are these open doors, which go out to a patio, and that is the smoking section. And sure enough, I'd say about half the guys who are waiting will go out and these open doors, they're wide open, and smoke their cigarettes. It just seemed rather odd that they would have in the center courtyard, which is like a garden of this brand new hospital, a smoking section. And of course, the doors were open, so the smoke just comes right in, and everyone breathes in the secondhand smoke. In addition, there is a Chinese traditional medicine here. I don't recall what it is called. Many of you, if you know it, let me know. But it smells just like marijuana, and so you're smelling someone's smoking weed in here, and it's not weed, but it smells just like weed. And apparently, it's something that you burn, and then they put on the smoke, and it helps heal your skin or your whatever ails you. And that's traditional medicine. So it's finally time. They call my name, or they call the number, and I go to see the doctor. It's this long corridor full of the orthopedics wing, this long corridor. And there's people waiting in the hallways. And in each room, there's a ton of people trying to talk to the doctor. And I get to my doctor, and it's this poor guy. He's got a face mask on, can't see his face, and very, very thick glasses. And he's on his computer, and he's just going nuts on his computer while people are yelling at him. And there's no line. There are people outside waiting, but most of the people are just standing around this poor doctor's desk, throwing little papers at him and saying, "Doctor, this hurts. Doctor, this hurts." And he looks, "Okay, what's wrong with you? Okay, gotcha. Okay, okay, what's wrong with you? Okay, gotcha." And everyone's yelling at him, and the poor guy doesn't take a break. He has no breath, and it's just chaos. And so finally, he looks at me and he says, "Okay, you sit down." And so he this is all through the interpreter, by the way. He doesn't speak English. So I sit down. And the interpreter says, "Yeah, he's hurt his shoulder. He fell, and it hurts to do this." And so he's like, "Okay, do this for me." I'm like, "It hurts, Can you do this?" "Yeah, I can do that. No pain." He's like, "Okay," back on his computer. Boom, you're done. I spent 20 seconds with this guy. That's all. That's all I got for him. I waited maybe 2-3 hours, and he wrote some things in the computer and said, "Okay, there's no privacy." I mean, he didn't touch me, he didn't examine me, he didn't point. He's like, "Okay, do that. Oh, it hurts. Okay, blah, blah, blah." And everyone else at the same time is yelling at this guy. It's really strange. I can't imagine if you have to go to a public hospital for something that's maybe a little bit more personal. I'm sorry. That's all I can say is I'm really sorry, because there is no privacy. Because when I sat down on this little stool, and everyone's looking over me. They're literally like right here, yelling at the doctor and looking at my paperwork and saying, "What's wrong with him? Ooh, what does he have?" It's really crazy. All right, so I go out and I have to pay. And he ordered an MRI. Okay, I knew I was going to have an MRI. That's no problem. So we go down. We pay for it first, and it was something like 900 RMB, which is ridiculously cheap compared to what you would pay for an MRI in the States, which is, a couple $100 probably, almost $1,000 from what I've been told. Here it was like $150. It's pretty good. And ordered it, went and scheduled it. But when we went to schedule it, the doctor had written in the computer my right shoulder and not my left shoulder. So he made a mistake. I'm sure that he was so busy, he made this mistake. So we had to go back to the doctor, get through the crowd, yell at him, say, "Hey, man, we can't schedule it, got the wrong shoulder. Can you change it?" He's like, no. What you have to do is here's a new MRI, so go pay for that, and then they'll give you a refund for the other one. So I had to go pay like another 900 RMB to fix the mistake the doctor made, so that they were going to scan my left shoulder. It seems like the doctor spent more of his time actually on his computer filling out little forms online and navigating the bureaucracy of it, rather than looking at the patients. And that's not his fault. That's just the way it's kind of is here, I guess. So anyway, we did that. I did get my refund. It was like 10 days later. It's fine. And but the MRI, it took 9 days, because there was no opening. So 9 days I had to wait for the MRI on my shoulder. Now, I had never had an MRI before. This is the first time I've ever been hurt. I'm almost 40, and I've other than a slight fracture in my left ankle when I was a kid, for the most part, I've never been hurt. I had a cast on my ankle for maybe 4 or 5 days at the most. Never spent the night in the hospital. I've never been really sick. So I've done pretty good in my life. And so I have very limited experience with hospitals and doctors and this kind of thing. Anyways, I did the MRI 9 days later, and it was fine. I mean, it was very professional. I showed up for my appointment, took maybe half an hour, and I was done. The MRIs are pretty. It's loud in there. That it makes all these really loud noises, but it's so constant. I almost fell asleep. It was so comfortable. All right, so now that the MRI is done, the doctor was only there maybe 2 days a week, so I had to wait a couple more days and go back to see him so that he can look at the MRI. Takes a look at the MRI, and I have pictures of it too. I'll show you later. It's fascinating, to look at your body inside the way it is. So the diagnosis was shock trauma to the deltoid and rotator cuff, whatever the heck that means. To be honest with you, I don't know. Now here's a picture of the MRI. If you can see it there. That's what my shoulder looks like on the inside. Anyways, he said that there's inflammation there. It's been there for many, many months, and it should have gone down by now. So he wanted to know why, but he said, okay, do this treatment. Again, this is all coming like real fast. With he just told me to do this. Does it hurt? Does it hurt if I do this? Yeah, okay. That's it. So the treatment is for this electric shock therapy, and I'd never seen or heard this before. And it's basically, they put that gel on you that they do for ultrasounds, right? And then they shock it, and they send electric pulses into the muscle. And it's painful. It doesn't feel good. And it runs all the way down your arm. And I did that once, and it didn't feel any better. And then they gave me these. Oh, wait, let me show you what the shock therapy looks like. I actually took a little bit of a video of it. It's pretty nuts. Here, check this out. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. And I don't know if this is a traditional medicine hospital, but it didn't seem very traditional to me. It seemed normal, which surprised me. I don't know these things, guys. This is my first experience with it. So I did that. I've done that twice so far, and they gave me these. They're like little pads that you wear on your muscle, and it's supposed to be like ibuprofen or something. The funny thing is, these are made in Japan. They're not even Chinese. So I got this. I've been wearing twice a day, and it smells really bad. And everyone's like, "Why you smell like medicine?" Yeah, because I got medicine on me. And I've done the shock therapy twice, and my shoulder, surprisingly, is getting better. It feels much better. I have motion. It's still a little painful right about here. If I reach out just like this, there's still a little bit of pain. But for the most part, I can put on a t-shirt without feeling any pain. Surprisingly. So I have one more shock therapy treatment to go, and one more doctor visit to see if it's working. He says we might do a couple more shock therapies, but the good news is he says that it looks like we'll be able to rule out microsurgery, and that is awesome. It really scared me a lot because I did not want to do the microsurgery. My father has had these problems with his shoulders too, obviously much older than me, but it's similar issues. And he's had surgery on both his shoulders. And I remember how tough it was for him. And I honestly was scared of that. I didn't want to go through that. It would have been months and months of rehab. With this, I think maybe another couple weeks, and then I can start slowly rehabbing it. I'm already doing yoga. I'm not doing swimming or any kind of thing like that. But he said once the pain goes away, wait about 2 weeks. After you have no pain, wait 2 weeks, and then you can start slowly building up the muscle in your shoulder, which means by summertime I should be good to go. Hopefully, that's the timetable. I have been running again these last few months. I haven't done anything. I've gained so much weight. I've been just really lazy and eating shitty food and not exercising and not going to the gym. I've been going on hikes here and there, but that's nothing. So I started running again. About a month ago, I started going playing badminton, and that's with my right shoulder. So I try to stay off the left shoulder as much as possible. But I'm slowly getting there. But this is the most out of shape I've ever been. So that's my experience. Oh, by the way, the shock therapy and these little medicated pads, they cost about 580 RMB total. So less than $100. So in all, I've spent about $200 total for the treatment and the consultation and the MRI. So although it seems a little chaotic at these hospitals, there's lots of people around, there's no privacy, the doctors seem overwhelmed. You can't beat the price. The price is pretty good, compared to a Western country. Obviously if you're in Canada or something, it's free. Now, the only reason why I went to the public school, or excuse me, the public hospital, hold on, there's still like a line there. I don't know what that is. But the only reason why I went to the public hospital is because I wanted insurance to pay for it. But considering how little it's been, and I don't need the surgery, I would have been much better just going to the private clinic where everyone speaks English and pay a little bit more money out of my pocket with no reimbursement. But I wouldn't have had to wait the 2 weeks to get to the point where I'm at now. So there's a give and take. There's good things and bad things about this. And in all, I'm glad I did it. It's been a good experience. And just in case I needed to have the surgery, it's a good thing that I went this route. So yeah, about $200, 1,400 RMB, around there, give or take. And my insurance pays for most of it. Well, they reimburse me for it, I should say. But it has been a nightmare going back and forth to and from the hospitals. So that's my experience with hospitals. If you guys have any questions about hospitals, I'll gladly answer them. I've been, my regular doctor is in Guangdong, and he's the guy I go to see every year to, do my blood tests, and if I have any issues, that I haven't. So I've been really, really healthy here. But to go up to Guangzhou and to go through all this and schedule the MRI would have probably cost 10 times as much and just as much headache. So in all, I'm pretty satisfied with my experience at the public hospital. It's chaotic. Nobody likes going to hospitals, but good job, China. That's all I got to say about that. If you're curious about dental work, there's dentists everywhere, and most of the dentists I've met speak really good English. And the dental clinics here I just pay out of pocket. It's really cheap. It's $20, $30 for a cleaning. I had a root canal done last year for, I think it was like $150. We would have paid almost $1,000 for that back in California. So, and it's really good, and the service was great. So medical here, here's the other thing. I train doctors similar to the way Serpent Zede says he trained doctors. He was an English teacher, but he trained doctors. His job was to not only train doctors with their English, but also get them ready to go to Germany. In China, there's a giant government program that they partner with Germany, and they send doctors from China over to Germany and vice versa. And all the doctors that I know of all want to do this program. It's like 3 months. You get to live in Germany and work in a German hospital. The thing is, you have to be qualified. You have to be on the upper echelon of the doctor world, and you have to have really good English skills. So a lot of these doctors spend a lot of money to take training, English training and cultural training, in order to pass the interview for this program. It's all over China. And I have clients who do that. I've trained these doctors myself. And so I've met many doctors of all kinds of disciplines you can think of: neurosurgeons, gynecologists, radiologists, general practitioners, pediatrics, dentists, the works. And all of them are the most humble people you'll ever meet. They're incredibly smart. Their knowledge is insane. And honestly, I think I make more money than they do as an English teacher. They don't make very much money, doctors. Nurses here barely make any money. It's not like back home where, doctors in America are the richest people in the country, You say, oh, you're a doctor, you drive a BMW or Mercedes, right? And you go golfing every weekend. And you live in the nice neighborhood with a big house, and everyone worships the ground that you move on. It's not like that here. To be a doctor here is a very respected profession, but they're humble. I remember asking him, so your doctor, you drive a Mercedes then, right? Or BMW, what kind of, you have a nice life? He's like, no, don't do that. They would look bad. Yeah. So they have a much different attitude towards being a doctor here. To them, it's all about the job. It's all about helping people. It's not about being a godlike figure and making, life and death choices for people and then getting paid lots of money for it. Here, it's purely intrinsic motivations that they have from being doctors. So I love the doctors here. They're great. Okay, enough of that. How's everybody? Okay, who is that? Okay, so Jolly's on there. Sorry, buddy. Kainonesi. Is that how you say that? What's up, dude? How are you, man? Where are you guys headed out? I'll get into hotels here in a little bit because I have some things to say about hotels too. Hold on. Today I'm drinking Coca-Cola with a little bit of Captain Morgan to spice it up. And I can do that tonight because I don't have classes tomorrow. So I got a day off tomorrow. And of course, Friday is Qingming. And then the other weekend. So I have a 4-day weekend, guys. Beat that, right? If you don't know what Qingming is in English, it's Tomb Sweeping Day. And it's the government holiday where you're supposed to go to, the cemetery or the place where your ancestors are buried and honor your ancestors and clean up the tombs around it. And it's a very traditional day for families, for Chinese people. However, it's also just a day off to enjoy the park or go to the movies or someplace. Many people use it to visit their family and have a nice dinner for the day. So that's what Qingming is. That's just Friday. Oh, here's another thing. May Day this year, they call it Labor Day. Right? It's the Chinese Labor Day, May 1st. It's a 4-day holiday this year. Usually it's just one day. This year, for some reason, the government just announced it's 4 days. So we've got a long vacation coming up here in a couple of weeks. And then, it'll be fun. I don't know what I'm going to do or where I'm going to go yet. I'd like to go to hot springs. Okay, let me fill you in on, speak of the devil. Okay. I'd like to fill you in on my travel plans for the summer. I have decided to stay another year here at the college, mostly because they treat me well. I like all the time off. I don't make as much money, but then again, you don't need a whole lot of money to live in China comfortably, and when there's schools not in session here, this college campus is empty and it's wonderfully peaceful and quiet. It's like living in a park. And the only people here are me and security guards. That's it. Everyone else is gone. All the other employees, all the other teachers are gone. So I will pretty much have this entire campus, the sports fields, the basketball, the parks, everything to myself if I stay here this summer. But I'm not. I'm gonna be in and out. I'll be spending a week in Japan. Here's my schedule. As soon as classes are done, I'm going back to America to see my family. Go back home, see my mom and pops. Out at the ranch, relax, drink some wine. They live in wine country in Southern California. So shoot some guns, just be an American for a few weeks and eat Mexican food and drink beer, see my old friends, go to a baseball game, do some hiking, all the things I love, and just generally relax and be with my family for a few weeks. And this summer is the summer I'm going to be resetting that tax rule. They used to be a 5-year rule. They just extended to the 6-year rule. If you don't know what that is, check out my income tax video that I did, and I explain all about that. And I'm resetting that rule by flying to South Dakota. If you don't know, I used to live in South Dakota. I lived there for many years in the Black Hills when I was in the service. Absolutely loved it. It's heaven on earth. I love the Black Hills. They are sacred to the Agala Lakota Sioux people. You know, the poor folks that live out on Pine Ridge and Rosebud. The Black Hills are sacred to their people, and it's obvious why. You go there, you see it, you see, okay, you know, American government did them a disservice that far. Anyway, so I'm going to go there, and I'm going to establish my residency in that state as opposed to California for tax purposes. So I'm going to go get a new driver's license. Again, I lived there for many years, so I have a history there. I have friends there. I'm going to drive through Denver, probably, because who doesn't love Colorado, right? And then come back and spend some more time with the family. From there, at the end of July, I'll be going to Japan. I'm going to go to Tokyo. I've always avoided Japan because it was so expensive to go there, right? But I got a good in. I think it'll be great to go to Japan for only a week. I'm going to go to, now there's 2 Disneyland parks there. I'm going to go to probably the Ocean Park. I hear that's the better one. I don't know. And then I'm going to just fart around the country. I'm not going to stay in Tokyo because it's a big city, and I might do a day or 2 there. But I'm going to do Mount Fuji, and I'm going to do all the touristy things. Might even hit up Kyoto because that's supposedly be like beautiful and historic. If you know more about Japan, let me know. I'd love to pick your brain on it. But it is a very expensive trip, and I'm saving up for that 1 week in Japan because I'm going to live it up there. From Japan, I'm flying into Bangkok, Thailand. I've never been to Thailand. I'm not even that interested in Thailand. Most people I talk to say, oh, they have a great time, and I'm sure it's fun and everything, but it just seems like it would be overrun with tourists and overcrowded. And I'm not ready for all that yet. I don't want to do Thailand, but I do want to just sit on a beach in Cambodia for a little while, and then go to Angkor Wat, and then slowly make my way up through Laos, and maybe even back to Vietnam for a few days, maybe a week, and I'll spend 2-3 weeks doing this trip through Cambodia and Laos. I'm only flying into Bangkok because it's cheaper, and then from there I can head over to Cambodia. I might go north into Chiang Mai. I've always kind of been interested in Chiang Mai. They say Thailand's supposed to be really great. We'll see. But Thailand, I think, deserves its own trip on its own. So that would round out my Southeast Asia. I still need to do Indonesia and Myanmar, but after this summer, I think I'll be pretty good on Southeast Asia for a while. On my hit list are Korea still, and some of the Western Asian countries, such as go back to Kyrgyzstan and Bishkek. I'd love to go back there. Head up Kazakhstan, Astana, and go back to, what is it? I can't remember the name now. Atami. It's the southern city of Kazakhstan. I can't think of the name now. Anyway, and also Uzbekistan is on my list as well. Now, in China, also this summer, I'll be doing a trip to Beijing just for a couple of days. Don't want to spend too much time in Beijing because I want to spend most of my time in and around Xi'an. I think Xi'an will be a wonderful trip in China. Later on in September, I'm going to spend maybe about 10 days total in and around the city of Xi'an. Not in the city itself. There are some interesting things I want to see, but most of the things I want to see are around Xi'an. A lot of the history of China is based around the ancient capital there, Chang'an, I think it's called. Yeah. So that's my summer travel plans. Okay. So say hello, everyone. Who else is out there? If you have any questions, hit me up. Okay. Let's talk about hotels. You guys know, if you follow my channel, you know I'm a big hotel fan. I used to be a hotel manager. My hotel creds include Ritz-Carlton. They include Four Seasons, Private hotels, these little boutique hotels in Hollywood. I worked at the Sunset Tower Hotel for a little while, right on Sunset Boulevard. That was an amazing experience. You know, I got every day is a different story. I could write books about what happened there. Also, Embassy Suites. I worked for Hilton for a little while and Marriott. A couple other little hotels here and there. But hotels are a hobby of mine. I know the ins and outs. I know all the tricks. I speak the language. It was a career choice that I consciously made to pursue many, many years ago when the real estate market died. And the problem with it is that you don't make a whole lot of money. And it's an awful lot of work, and it's fun, but it is work. I mean, you're working nights and weekends and holidays, and depending on the management company that you are working for, some treat you well and some don't treat you well. And there are certain practices within the hotel industry that turned me off to it. Most overbooking. Did a video about overbooking you should watch. It gives you a little hints and secrets about how front office of a hotel works. So here in China, obviously, I stay in a lot of hotels, as you see. Now, from what other people say, you know, that say like half the hotels in China don't accept foreigners. I have not experienced that once. And I've been to a million different cities in China, and I've never run into a problem with a hotel saying, no, we can't allow foreigners to stay here. So I see a lot of other YouTubers and travelers who run into this problem, and I don't know what they're doing wrong. You know, I honestly don't. Is it because they didn't book in advance? Are they just walking into a hotel saying, I need a room? If that's the case, then yeah, a lot of hotels will turn you away, whether you're a foreigner or not. You know, if you just walk in, if you're a walk-in, some hotels really like that. Some of them really hate that. So they'll just turn you away. And there's various reasons for doing it. Mostly it's, you know, room occupation planning and housekeeping planning and staffing and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, people often ask me, how do I book? Who's my booking agent? I use ctrip.com. Now, Ctrip is a Chinese company. They're based out of Shanghai, but they're also worldwide. The worldwide website is called trip.com. And they're an aggregator, just like an Expedia or a Priceline or any of these other companies. And I've used those companies a lot, hotels.com and, you know, all this stuff. Kayak is similar, but what Kayak does is that they aggregate from the other aggregators. So they're basically, they scrape these other websites and say, okay, here's the lowest price for it. And that's a pretty good service. But with Ctrip, I joined their points program and all this stuff. So I'm on the top tier, the platinum tier. So I get all kinds of extra discounts, and I use my points for discounts and upgrades and things like this. And because I'm a platinum tier, the hotels can see, okay, he's a platinum tier, he travels a lot. So they typically will upgrade me for free anyways. And I get really good rates. And if you're a hotel nerd like me, staying in hotels in China or traveling in China and staying in hotels is Mecca. It's the gold mine, because you can stay in some super nice hotels at a quarter of the price of what it would cost in, you know, other countries, especially United States is what I'm comparing to. Now, if you're in a first tier city such as Hong Kong or Shenzhen or Shanghai was really expensive, then yeah, you're gonna have more expensive rooms. But even Guangzhou, by Western standards, is a first tier city, and you can stay in 5-star Ritz-Carlton resorts for half the price of what it would cost in a podunk little city in America. So it's still a really good deal. So I use Ctrip for all of my travel arrangements. And even Ctrip, as much as I love them, and their service is great. Every time I have a problem, I call them. There's someone there that speaks English, and they help me out. But hold on. Can you guys chat with me? Say hi if you can. I can't see if the chat is on or not. You know, just say hi if you can. Everyone's really quiet tonight. So anyway, I go on there, and when you search for a hotel, you can do your filters. 5-star, 4-star. I want parking. I want breakfast. I want it in this location, right? Well, the vast majority, such as like 80% of the people who book hotels on these websites, are looking for 5 and 4-star hotels. So that makes all the 3 and 2-star hotels, they drop off the list immediately, and they don't get as nearly as much attention as the 4 and 5-star hotels. So everyone's vying for a 4 and 5-star rating on these websites. Had to change service. Everything is being super slow with my VPN. Me too, Aaron. Yeah, that's life in China. VPNs suck. I'm sure this comes and goes and stuff. I'm surprised it's lasted this long, dude. Anyways, so you cannot, in the States, you have 2 rating systems. You have AAA, which does the stars, and then you have Forbes, which does the diamond ratings. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. And those are rated not on service quality, although that is a part of it. It's mostly on amenities and facilities of a property. So if this hotel has a spa, an in-house spa, a pool, restaurant, 24-hour room service, concierge services, security deposit box, safe deposit box behind the desk. These types of things all add up, and they check these little boxes, and that's what qualifies you as a 5-star, or a 5-diamond hotel, or even a 4-star or a 4-star, 4-diamond. In China, that does not exist. So a hotel can claim that they're 4 or 5-star, but they're not. They're really 2 or 3. The only reason why they claim that, or they try to claim that, is so that they are part of the filtering process. When people are looking for property, they're not filtered out when people are looking for 4 and 5-star. So that's why when you look for 4 or 5-star properties, you're going to see properties that do not qualify that under Western standards. And you think, oh, the price is so great. I can stay in a 5-star hotel for $40 a night. It's not a 5-star hotel. And the aggregators don't really pay attention to this. They look at other factors. I don't know what they are. I can't tell you. And even Trip.com does this. So, for example, my next video, I'm driving from Zhongshan to Huyan on the eastern side of Guangdong. And in Huyan, I stayed in a hotel called A Tour, which is a chain hotel. It's similar to a Best Western. They're franchise chain hotels, and they're nice. They're really nice. The one in Guangzhou is beautiful. But it's not a service hotel. It's mostly like a motor lodge. And this one's in a big tower, and they've got a little restaurant they serve breakfast at. They got a little gym that nobody ever uses, and it's a new building with brand new hotel, amenities, and the rooms are beautiful and they smell nice, and they've got soft beds with nice TVs, and they're very comfortable, and it costs about $50. But it's not a 5-star hotel. They don't have a swimming pool. There's no spa. There's no staff working 24/7. There's no security guards. They share parking with a mall, So it's not a 5-star hotel, but they claim 5-star. So you have to watch that. Now, I bring this up because last weekend, and I didn't make a video about this. By the way, that A-Tour hotel's more like a 2 or 3, and by Western standards. It's a very, very nice 2 or 3, and it was well worth the money that you spend, but it's not a 5-star hotel. Okay? So when you travel here, you have to be aware of that. Don't bother with that shit. And don't look at the reviews. Also, many of the reviews on these websites, including Trip.com, are fake. You can easily tell the fake reviews from the real reviews. The fake reviews will have very simple sentences, and a lot of the grammar is wrong because they're sent through some kind of translator software or something. It says the staff was great, the location was excellent, great for the breakfast was delicious. Little simple sentences like this. They're not compound sentences. They're not how real people review their experiences. So even the numbers, they say, oh, they got a 4.2 review and a 5-point rating system. It's not right. So look at the real reviews, look at the real photos, and then it's a hit or miss. If the property's charging a lot of money, it's probably worth the money because that's what the market is getting for it. Okay, so I bring this up because this last weekend I was staying in a hotel here in Zhongshan. On the website it said 4-star, and all the pictures were great. They had like guys, bellmen with little hats on, and guys in suits behind the desk, and a beautiful restaurant that had waiters, the little napkin, waiting on you. And they advertised a swimming pool and a gym and nice breakfast. And they had all these reviews with beautiful pictures and everything. Oh, okay, we'll check it out. The price was about 250 RMB. So about what, $40, something like that, right? Less than $40. And that was for a small room. So I paid a little bit more money and got the big room and had a lovely evening. When I got there, though, that wasn't the case. When I got there, there's one guy working there. The property, it's about 15, almost 20 years old. It said that it was renovated in 2018. It wasn't. The guy behind the counter was smoking a cigarette hanging from his mouth, and he's checking in. And then there's a sign that says, okay, we rent rooms by the hour. This is all in Chinese. We rent rooms by the hour. So for 100 RMB, or for about what, $15, you can rent a room for 1 hour. What kind of, it is one of those hotels. And so the bar was essentially just a couple of bottles of cheap Chinese wine, a Great Wall wine, right, on a shelf. There was no glasses for which to serve the wine, and there was no corkscrew in which to open the bottle. I know this because I brought a bottle of wine. I said, hey, can I open this? And they said, we don't have a bottle opener. So they can advertise a bar. They can show a picture of a beautiful bar with a bartender in front of it. They'd probably hired for the day. But there is no bar. Yeah. They advertise non-smoking floors. And you go, okay, great, non-smoking. Go up to the non-smoking, and everything smells like cigarettes. You can't sleep in these rooms. And this isn't just this hotel, mind you. This is many hotels that I have visited here in China. So I go, the room is about half the size of what the pictures are. They use wide-angle photos for the rooms. Fine, I don't care. The bed was hard Chinese bed. Fine, that's okay. But I'm hungry. So I said, hey, let's go down to the restaurant or get some room service. The restaurant's closed. It's boarded up. They've got the little sheets over all the tables and chairs. No room service. Again, I wanted to open a bottle of wine. He said, you got to go down to the market, half a block down the road, and buy your own. I had to go down to the market, buy my own, and then I just ordered some Meituan for dinner. It's just the delivery service. In the morning, the hairdryer broke from my lady friend, and she called, hey, I need a new hairdryer, and they said, oh, we don't have one. I said, what? So we had to go all the way down to the front desk and see if they had a hairdryer there. They didn't have one, so they didn't have anybody to go with us. So the dude literally gave us 2 room keys and said, go look in these other rooms, and we did. And we just went to these other rooms and picked out a hairdryer from another room. There's no swimming pool. There's no gym. There's no meeting rooms. There's none of that. So it's total bullshit, everything on the website. So I contacted Trip.com, sent them an email, and right away they returned, thanks for letting us know. We had no idea. Right? And they offered to give me, a refund out of their own pocket, like half the price. I was like, that's cruel. I declined. I said, look, you don't have to pay me. It's not your fault. It's their fault. And then they're going to investigate this hotel. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. I wrote a review. I put all the photos on the website. I don't know if that's going to happen either. So hotels here can be a hit or miss. They really can. Okay. So with that being said, we've got a bunch of people watching me now. So where's everyone from? Do you have any questions about hospitals or hotels in China? Because I'd love to hear them. If not, I'm going to sign off, guys. Where's everybody from? Let me know. I'm curious. Actually, let's do this. Got a question for you. Okay. So, do you guys know Steve Avery? Not Steve Avery. I'm sorry. He's really cool too. Don't get me wrong. No, Austin in China. He's an English teacher from Chengdu. And he recently put out a video asking all of his subscribers what is China? What are China's vloggers missing? You know, what can we do better? Do you have any questions? Things like this, right? And I thought it was a really great idea. And so I asked him, I was like, hey, can I ask my viewers this? He said, sure, go right ahead. So let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you this one here. Okay, hold on. Put this over here. Good. Okay, I got a couple screens going. Okay, so what is the China vlogger sphere missing? What are your wishes for content? Because as you guys know, I do a lot of different types of content on my channel. I do the traveling content, obviously, you know, I do the teaching content, I do the industry content, the living in China content, the hotel content, and the car content. If that's something you want, that's pretty cool too. I'd love to do more cars. People projects, you want to see more interviews with people? I know Jolly wants me to interview him, right, dude? I'd like to do that with you. When you come back from South America, man, we'll get that interview done because you got an interesting story behind you, man. And I think people would be interested to hear about it. I don't know what the magic screw is that you're talking about. Okay. All right. So I spilled my beans for a little while. It's good to see you, everybody. Thank you for letting me talk to you and spill my guts about the hotels and hospitals here in China. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them below. I'm going to go ahead and sign off and enjoy the rest of my evening. Okay. Thank you for watching. Oh, Aaron had a comment. You saved it, Aaron. I like the interviews. I think that's pretty cool. Well, Aaron, what kind of interviews? Do you want me to interview Chinese people? Do you want me to interview other foreigners, business people, English teachers? You know, I have friends in all different places here. I can interview the government officials. Here's another thing. I'll talk about that some other time. Okay. Yeah, sorry. But let me know. I think I need to get a bite to eat and call it a night, y'all. Well, Aaron, let me know if you have any other questions, okay, dude? And we'll talk to you all later. Take care, bud.